We are recording.
Great. Welcome to the Amherst Design Review Board meeting of April 14th, 2025. My name is Erica Zikos, and as the chair of the Amherst Design Review Board, I'm calling this meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. The meeting is being recorded and will be made available via the Town of Amherst's YouTube channel, and minutes are being taken. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021 and extended again by Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting is being conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. A hyperlink to the hearing will be posted on the town's online calendar. Board members, I'll take roll call. When I call your name, please let me know that you're here. Lindsay Schnarr.
Here.
Karen Winter, absent. Pat Auth, absent. Karen Blum. Here. And Erica Zikos, present. Board members, if technical issues arise, we may need to pause temporarily to fix the problem and then continue the meeting. If the discussion needs to pause, it will be noted in the minutes. Please use the raise hand function to ask a question or make a comment. I'll see a request and call on you to speak. After speaking, remember to remute yourself. General public comment item is reserved for public comment on items that are or are not on tonight's agenda. Please be aware that the board will not respond to comments during general public comment period. Public comment could also be heard at other times during the meeting when determined appropriate. Please indicate that you wish to make a comment by clicking the raised hand button when public comment is solicited. If you've joined the Zoom meeting using a telephone, please indicate that you wish to make a comment by pressing *9 on your phone. When called on, please identify yourself by stating your full name and address and put yourself back into mute when you're finished speaking. Residents can express their views for up to 3 minutes or at the discretion of the chair. If a speaker does not comply with these guidelines or exceeds their allotted time, their participation will be discontinued from the meeting. Tonight's agenda includes 2 projects. We'll have a general public comment period and then our applications, DRB FY 2025-12, 48 North Pleasant Street Exchange Thrift Shop. And then it must be 2025-14 Matsuda's Cafe. We're going to forego approval of last meeting's meeting minutes because our incredible staff person Jacinta needs to leave early tonight. So we will wrap it up after the presentations. So with that, Jacinta, is anybody here from Exchange? Or sorry, is anybody here from the general public who would like to make a comment? That's question 1.
No, I don't have anyone in the attendees room waiting.
And then anyone here from Exchange this evening?
No.
I don't see that. Okay, so we will skip over that, and if they arrive a little late, we can re-engage them. But why don't we move on, since Matsuda is here with us to hear about this project. And Matsuda, you should have the ability to share your screen with us. And if you would like to do that while you're presenting your project, that would be great.
Sure. So Lindsay, first, I didn't get a chance to say hi to you, so hello. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm the owner of Matsuda's Cafe that's located at 17 Kellogg Avenue. The main reason for today's meeting is obviously to go over the signage that we have on the property. I have just received the mock-ups that you requested. I know I had sent just the digital logos, but my signage team has just sent up mock-ups. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you them. And then if you reference the email that I had sent to Jacinta and Jennifer, there's more information on the size and the materials that are being used. I can also pull up that email or the Word document that I prepared to answer any questions. Just give me 1 second while I share my screen. So there is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different signages that I'm going to show you guys. I'll go through each one at a time, and if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and let me know what it is that you would like more information about. So this is the first one. This is the awning that we currently have.
Right, I want to just to inelegantly interrupt to say that we are still seeing your menu, so we're only seeing the thumbnails of the images.
Okay. Oh, my apologies.
It might mean that you have to stop share and share again. I'm not quite sure how it'll work, but there
Does
we
that
go.
work?
Beautiful.
Okay, so the awning right now is black. We're gonna repaint it black, the exact same color, and then that's the design that will be going on. This will be hand painted by the design company. And give me one quick second.
Is it my understanding you discussed this last time?
No, actually, this is the first time that we're seeing
Okay.
Masuda. The thrift shop was discussed last time, and they were going to come back for a revisit, but this is a first pass,
Okay.
a first look.
Yeah.
Then the second signage, let me just double check. Do you guys see the second one, or are you still seeing the first one?
First.
Oh, yeah, awning.
Okay. So that is the second one.
Okay.
And this is, I believe it's called a flagpole. So it's on the left-hand side of the property right on Kellogg.
Uh-huh.
And then the third one is on the right-hand side of the building. This is the third one, and this is above the patio that's on the right-hand side of the building. And if I'm not mistaken, you had asked to see the hours of operation sticker that's going to be going on the front door, the glass.
Mhm.
So I can show that to you as well.
Well, this one, oh, oh, there's the hours. Okay.
Mhm.
Clean.
I had a question about the awning.
About the awning, yeah.
Yeah, it almost looked as if there's lighting under it. Is that what's happening or?
Yeah, so there's lighting underneath it, that's right.
Okay. Panels, is that the case?
I believe
Like
so, yes.
Panels?
I believe so, yeah. Whatever was there originally, which I think is panels, is
Oh,
still,
okay.
we haven't touched or changed any of
I
that.
see.
And then the last piece, this is actually inside of the cafe or the property, but I wanted to show you just in case. So you'll see as soon as you walk in through that main door on your right-hand side, there's this fixture that's attached to the ceiling, and it's a backlit, so double-sided. And that's what we're planning on putting on both sides, and then it will be lit up.
I see. Uh-huh.
So those are the 5 pieces of signage that I have prepared for today's meeting. Again, if you would like, I can give you details on dimensions and the materials that are being used to make them. I have to say that the dimensions that we have, basically nothing has changed since the previous owners were in the space. We haven't changed dimensions of any of the signage. We're literally just putting our own signage back into their frames.
Got it.
So if that's helpful, I want to give you that information. But visually, these are the 5 that I have. I know that you don't have them because I just received them, so I'm happy to share these in an email right now with you guys or after the meeting so that you can have a closer look at them, along with that Word document that I had originally sent that has the dimensions and the materials that will be used.
Well, in an ideal scenario, we'll have a discussion and be able to vote on this evening. So let's open the floor for any questions from the board, and we could maybe pull up different images to go along with the signage in question. And if I could kick us off, I'm just wondering if you could kind of talk us through the color palette of the various signs. That awning is black with a white Masuda's and a brown cafe, but we see that changing as we move.
Yeah, so the main, I want to say 3 to 4 colors of Masuda's Cafe are the black, that burnt copper that I like to call it a burnt copper, almost orangey color, the green, and white. So because the awning was already there and it was painted, it was black, we thought that we would keep that color, and then we would just do the Masuda's in white, and then just to switch it up a little bit, so it doesn't have this kind of dark look all across the cafe, we decided to do the pole sign and then the horizontal other signage on both, like the right and left side of the building, to be more white with the black Masuda's and the green cafe. And then this indoor one, actually, this is going to be, I think, my sign person just made a little bit of an error, so that actually this one is going to be like the background is going to be fully black. The coffee stain or the circle is going to be that burnt color, and then the Masuda's will be in black, and the cafe will be in green. I think maybe just because he was rushing to get this, he made an error on that. But that's why there's a little bit of a difference, because we kind of wanted to keep it a little bit lighter, but we really like the black awning that was already pre-existing outside. You'll see these colors incorporated inside the cafe too, and our paint colors, our furniture colors, some of our wallpaper, on our menu. So these 4 colors are kind of like a scheme that we have being used all across the cafe.
Thank you for that clarification. And Karen, I saw that your hand was up. And by the way, welcome, Karen Winter. Glad that you've found us from France. Appreciate it. Karen, did you still have a?
I just had a question about the massively, the sign that had that. I was just wondering the thinking behind it.
Yeah, so originally the business that I had in Canada was Massively Delicious. That was the name of my brand. And then when I came here, I wanted to name the cafe Massively Delicious, but a lot of people really liked my name, Masuda's, and thought that I should name the cafe after myself. But we really liked the slogan of Massively Delicious. So we thought we would reincorporate that in with like the name of the cafe will be Masuda's Cafe, but the slogan will be Massively Delicious. And I thought it would be a cute way to incorporate it in the signage by doing it on that left-hand side of the building signage, because it was a little bit bigger. And I don't know, I felt like the design was well. And once the cafe is open, you'll see that slogan will be used also with our baked goods side of the cafe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Masuda, could I ask you to show us that image again? Because I have it.
Of course. Give me 1 second. There you go.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is all of the text black?
So on this one, again, the Massively Delicious would be that green color.
It's green. Okay, it's so hard to tell. But I appreciate that you have a really tight palette of colors and that they're being used not interchangeably, but like, you know, kind of selectively throughout. I think that on the whole, I feel that it's all very clean. And I just here I couldn't recall whether the cafe was that burnt copper color. And wonder if if you wanted to continue to be consistent about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, within the interior design too, so that burnt copper color comes out in the chairs some of the chairs that we've chosen the fabric on it. Some of our paint color we have 2 paint colors in the cafe, or it's actually 3. So the black, the green, and then the burnt copper, but it's a much lighter because burnt copper might look a little bit too extreme on a wall. So it's a lighter version. So it's incorporated inside the cafe as well. Absolutely. And like you were saying, like it all looks very clean. That's kind of the whole aesthetic vibe that I'm going for from the beginning with everything. I want the cafe to have a very refined, clean, classy design to it. I don't want there to be too much going on. So as you can see, that reflects in the signage that we've chosen. I'm going to slowly just kind of go back and forth through them so you guys can
I
get.
think that's a smart idea. Lindsay, are you prepared to jump in?
I'm still kind of taking it in, to be honest. I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's lovely overall. It's a really clean. I think that sign in particular, this blade sign, is the most challenging to read.
The
I'm
one
just kind of,
yours, this one here.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just the verticality of the letters with then the cafe next to it. I'm not sure if other people might be feeling the same way, but I think that the change in font and colors works well horizontally. I'm just not sure about it in the vertical layout.
Do you think it would be easier to read if the cafe was in all black as well?
No, I think.
No.
I actually think one approach could be to have the cafe across the bottom, like horizontally. I don't know, or maybe, I don't know, the apostrophe S makes it tricky to do the blade side in particular. Does anybody else have thoughts on that?
It did come up for me as well. I see Karen's hand though, so.
Oh, no, I was just
Yeah,
thinking.
actually, when I look at this sign, the way it is, it reminds me of an eye doctor and a test of the letters DCAA. I agree. I think it's beautiful. The lettering is beautiful. I love the name. But I agree. If the cafe was at the bottom, you wouldn't have that problem so much. Or if the cafe were smaller or something.
I'm just trying to think if we did, so Masuda's was still vertical and then cafe was horizontal. I'm just worried that people might get confused because sometimes when you do a vertical and then horizontal underneath, they think that that last letter is the first letter of the horizontal word. So that's what I'm just worried about. But maybe if it's centered, then people won't think that.
I think I agree that to center Masuda's, and then you have to leave half a letter height's worth of white space before cafe across the bottom, so it'll kind of read as a T.
Right.
This one, I know this blade sign has been a challenge for other businesses as well. It's just hard when you have a name that's like more than one term. Lindsay and then Karen.
I actually had a thought about that separation, like if there was a band of color, perhaps like the black, and then you did an inverted light color for the cafe text across the bottom horizontally. Perhaps that would separate it enough so that they don't read like they're competing with each other.
So what you're saying is have cafe going horizontally, still keep it in the green.
Not necessarily. It could be a lighter color, like a white. I mean, the green, perhaps, depending on the color of the band going across the bottom. But I just think if you had maybe a block of solid color across the bottom, and then the cafe was within that block, it would probably help to separate it from the vertical lettering.
I see.
Karen, go ahead.
How about if you had the cafe in a block around it? You know, the problem is that there are so many letters that are floating around.
Mhm.
And that's tricky for the eye. But if the cafe was in a bed of yellow or, you know, or some other color, then that would be a separate word and it wouldn't compete with the Masudas.
Yeah, you may not realize this, but I think that's something very similar to what Lindsay was just suggesting.
Sorry.
It's good. No, it's good. It means that there's agreement. I like this very much. Karen, please.
Well, I was just wondering if you decreased the size of cafe a little bit more to distinguish it. I mean, what pops out is Masuda's.
Yeah.
Cafe sort of defines the nature of the restaurant,
Okay.
but it seems that what you want people to see first and foremost is Masuda.
Right.
And so I wonder if just decreasing slightly the cafe part, and you could center it or however people are thinking of it. I wonder if that would be helpful.
Okay. I personally like the idea of making the cafe going horizontal underneath it. I don't know how I feel about necessarily maybe like putting a box around it, because I feel like that will make it very different from all the other signage. But yeah, I think I would be open to doing the cafe at the bottom in green, and centering the Masudas, if that's okay with you guys.
About if not a full box, just a simple line in one or either the black of Masuda's or the green of cafe. And the line doesn't quite come to the edge, but just serves as I don't even know if you can see this. No, you can't really see it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, if we did the line in that burnt gold, would that be an issue? To bring back all three colors?
I actually think that could be really beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks for workshopping that with us. Oftentimes when we have the images to look at beforehand, we are a little bit more together in our thinking, but
Okay.
let's if that's the flagpole, maybe the awning is the next most important here. And here the cafe is also green. I worry a little bit about the contrast here, that it's not distinct enough, the green on the black. And I feel that the white or the burnt copper would read more clearly.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can have the designer do it. I know the white will look great. I'll get her to do it in the burnt copper. I feel like that might again not stand out as much. But yeah, I can have her do them in both and see which one stands out better.
Thank you. Lindsay, go ahead.
I agree with that comment, Erica, and I also feel like there's a little bit more competition between the two fonts and the sizes, partly because I think they're so close together. I'm wondering if two things may help in addition to the better contrast of the cafe lettering. But if the cafe text was perhaps another size lower, smaller, obviously you don't want it to get too small, but holding that like bottom line as the datum and just letting it like drop down
Okay,
I think that could help. And then I would also give more space both between Masuda's and cafe, and then perhaps even between the letters of the cafe itself, if there was like a way to just give them a little more breathing room, because they're very, and it's just the font type, but I think that might help.
okay, so decrease the size a little bit, move it over and space out the cafe.
A little,
Okay.
yes. Those are my thoughts. What do other people think?
I like the idea of space. I do agree having space between Masuda and cafe, but I like the idea of spacing out cafe a bit, because the F and the E are so close
Mm.
in presentation that it sort of it complicates sort of distinguishing them.
Mhm.
So another one.
And here, Masuda's is black, cafe is, and Massively Delicious are green. Is that what you said? Can you remind us?
Yeah, so Massively Delicious, I wanted it to be in green.
Mhm.
He's done it in black right now. But you can let me know what you think of the colors. If you recommend that it stay black, then that's fine as well.
I like it in green. I'm maybe I don't want to say ambivalent, because that sounds like I don't care. I do. I think it would be nice in either black or green. Personally, I wonder if other members of the board have feelings.
I think I would like it in green. It distinguishes it from the name of the cafe.
Mhm.
Okay.
Lindsay?
I also think it would look nice in green. So the cafe is also black in this one.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know if other people agree, but my brain is kind of looking for a little more consistency, and so, or opportunity for consistency. And I think you've done that with the text font. I think I'm looking for a little more with the colors. And so I'm wondering if the blade sign is, and maybe I'm overthinking it, I probably am. If the blade sign has that potential line that's in gold with
Mhm,
a copper,
mhm,
I'd be curious about doing the same thing here, because you have two rows to
mhm,
do like a floating, really thin copper line between the Masuda's Cafe and the Massively Delicious, that like
Mhm.
doesn't go to the edge, but just kind of floats there and brings again those three colors into that one sign.
Okay.
That's just a thought.
Yeah,
It also
no,
kind of creates some consistency in that everything like below the line is, that the line itself is this consistent color, and everything below the line is the green, and above the line is black. And maybe
Mhm.
there's a way to kind of translate that other places, depending on where else you're exploring options.
yep, that makes sense.
What do other people think?
I like that you're introducing us, it's almost like a strategy. I worry a little bit that there might not be enough space for it. A line then kind of asks for more space around it that may not be available on this particular sign because the height is fixed. But I think it could look very nice.
Could we go back to the front awning?
Yep.
Masuda, I don't know if you know, we are still seeing your
Oh, my
menu.
apologies.
Yeah,
Did it switch yet?
here we go. Yep.
Yeah, I found, you know, the previous sign, you had Masuda's and Cafe in the same color. Cafe being smaller. I just wonder what that would be like on the front.
Mm-hmm. Both in white.
Mhm.
The black kind of calls for it in a way. It just feels like there's that background kind of.
Right, yeah, the white definitely stands out.
Mhm.
Yeah. Karen, what are you thinking that it would be everything in white?
That's
I
it.
first, oh, go ahead. This Karen or?
Karen, yes, Karen Blum.
I think it's hard to read and we're playing with what color. But looking at the side and looking at this, I think having it all in white, introducing the cafe, might be cleaner and just present in a cleaner way and more consistent
Yeah.
with the other signage.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to change that cafe to white. It just makes more sense.
Okay. Let's see, hours on the door and that sign that's hanging inside, which technically is not in the window and may be outside of our purview, although if you're open to it, maybe we have things to say. It shows through the window, but it's not affixed to the window. But could we take a look at the hours of operation? I mean,
Do you see it now?
yeah, it's so a green or black sign.
So actually, I was planning on doing this so that the font was all going to be all black against, so basically it's going to be clear. There's no black on it. It's going to be, the writing is all going to be white. No, the writing's all going to be black. Originally I wanted to do it white, but the designer said that it might not, people might not be able to see it clearly. So the writing is going to be all black and then it's just going to have the burnt copper trim around it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Seems clean enough. Yeah, Lindsay, go ahead. I don't, it's hard, this
I
one's
think
hard
it
to
looks
know.
great. It's hard
Yeah.
to tell with the writing, I would just be careful about making it clear, but I mean, I think it's really clean and I'm sure it's readable up close where you'd be looking at it. So I think it's really nice. And it has that gold border that fits in my system.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think it looks nice.
Great. And
I
would
will say one thing is like, I don't think you need of operation. You could just say hours,
Okay.
business hours at the most, but I think just hours would be enough.
Okay.
And perhaps that even leaves space for you to put your cafe name above it, or maybe you don't want to do that, but
Okay. Thank you.
good point. Okay. And the only sign we haven't talked about is this last one, which again, I think is not really within our scope, but maybe there's some advice to be shared. Masuda, when I see this sign, I see a texture where you talked about it being lit from inside, and I'm wondering if that texture is just an artifact of the making of this image, or if it's what you're actually anticipating.
I think it's clear. I'm gonna double check. Yeah, well, the original picture that I have actually, it's empty on both sides. So you just see the electrical wires. So I think this is just how the signage company did it right now. But no, there's none of that like ripple effect.
Okay. And then you mentioned that the coffee stain is going to be in the copper.
It's going to be in the copper. Masuda's is going to be in black, and then the cafe will be in green.
Okay.
Or sorry, Masuda's is going to be in white because the background is going to be black. Masuda's is going to be in white, and then cafe will be in green.
Okay.
So these are white, cafe, and green. Again, the green on the black background may be challenging
Okay.
for readability purposes, but have you thought about like just a translucent background, like a frosted white?
Mhm.
No, to be honest.
That could be nice.
Because if it's lit from the interior, how is the black gonna, did I miss that? Is it not lit or is it lit?
It is lit. It is lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lit on both sides.
But then, so you're anticipating that the light's only shining through the word Masuda's?
Yeah, no, I haven't, I guess I didn't think about it that way.
If the background is all black, there's no opportunity for the light to come through that surface.
Right, yeah. So that's something that I'd have to speak with the signage company and see exactly how the fixture works.
Mhm.
I think it's really beautiful.
Mhm.
I agree if it was a frosted white. I almost read it like it's a reflective surface. I don't know if that's an option, but that could give it sort of an illuminating quality.
Okay.
And still keep it with that, there's like a sheen or a shine
Mhm.
in the contrast.
Yeah, I'm looking at the photo that came with the package is the sign unfinished, and you're just kind of like, we see into the guts of it.
Mhm.
Definitely illuminated from the inside. If you want to take advantage of that, and having the light be able to shine through seems
Okay.
important. So thinking about where that happens. But again, since I believe that this is outside of our scope, then maybe we don't have to worry about this, and we can provide that advice, and you don't have to worry about coming back to us for that sign, but you might just take it under advisement. Any other questions or comments from DRB members at this moment? Okay. I've been taking notes, and I'm gonna sum up for each sign, and I'll sum up what I think our feedback is for each sign, and then Jacinta and DRB members, if you've heard me misstate or I missed something, jump in after each of the individual signs, okay? And then I want to kind of collect all of that, all of the advisement, make a motion and vote on it. Okay, so our recommendations for the awning sign are cafe text to be in white, cafe text to be slightly smaller and provide a bit more space between the letters and provide more space between the word Masuda's and the word cafe.
Mhm.
Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay,
No, you got it all.
great. The flagpole sign or blade sign. To keep the word Masuda's vertical, but centered. And move the word cafe to the bottom. Spell it out horizontally. And try separating the word Masuda's and cafe with a thin copper line. Did I get it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We're cooking. This is great. Okay, and the sign on the right side of the building. Massively delicious could be in green. And we're advising to introduce a thin copper line to separate the upper text Masuda's Cafe and the lower text of Massively Delicious.
Yes.
Okay.
I just had one question, because I know Lindsay said something similar about kind of keeping consistency. So the flagpole sign and the sign are both on white backgrounds.
Yep.
So okay, I think I just answered my own question. I was going to say, should we make the cafe in green? But we said that you'd recommend the Massively Delicious in green instead and leave Masuda's Cafe in black.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great. And the hours on the door, the hours sign, we're approving black text directly on the glass with a copper border and advising that you can delete of operation. Is that everything?
Yes.
Okay. No official recommendations about the interior sign at this moment. I think that we should probably hold off because it was suggestions and it feels like it's very much in flux. And since it's not really in our scope, I think we can just have that as conversation, not part of a recommendation. Any discussion at this point?
Are these, just a clarifying question, are these
Mhm.
recommendations so that she can move forward, or will we be asking her to come back?
I feel they can be recommendations to move forward.
Okay, great.
Approval with these recommendations.
Okay, thank you.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
So I have a question, just because I want to this is my first time doing this, and I want to make sure that I'm doing things appropriately.
Mhm.
So when you said move forward with approval, can you explain that to me? Does that mean that I'm going to get the designer to make the changes that you recommended? I have to send them back to you. Once you approve them, then I can send them to my signage company and they can start creating the signs?
Technically, you don't have to come back to us. We're gonna trust that you'll take these recommendations under advisement. We are officially not a binding board. In theory, you could ignore what we say, but our recommendations technically are to the building inspector in this case. And so they will have the final approval.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yes.
we're hopeful that you will make these recommendations because we've had this nice conversation about the design of your lovely signs, but yeah, you do not need to come back.
Okay, thank you. And I just wanted to clarify to make sure I'm doing everything
I'm
appropriately.
glad you did. Thank you. Yeah, all right. So Karen, did you second?
I did.
Great. Anybody to have some last discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please let us know by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's all of us. That's everyone. So approved with those recommendations, Masuda. Does that sound good?
Yes, I appreciate all of your guys' time, recommendations and help
Great. When are you planning to open?
next month.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's why I was hoping that these could get reviewed and approved as soon as possible. Because as you know, things take time to get made and time flies. So I was a little bit tight on time and was hoping that
it.
everything would go well.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
No
Great. And speaking of time and knowing that Jacinta would like to be on an airplane any minute now, just checking that Exchange, did they come in tonight?
I don't see them here, no.
Okay.
So we'll just have to put them on the next agenda.
We'll put them on the next agenda. And we will also bump approval of last meeting's minutes to the next as well, so that we can call this one a little early.
Erica, one request from you if possible. I'm
Sure.
pretty sure I remember everything that you said, but that beautiful breakdown that you did at the end of your recommendations based on each sign, are you able to send that to me in an email? So that way I have the wording and I can send it straight to the designer and she can make the changes.
Be sending a summary of that for you, Masuda.
Okay.
It probably won't happen in the next 2 days, but it should be within the next week or so.
Okay, thank you
Yeah,
so
and
much.
I'd be happy to summarize those things, although it's not the official record. I can send that if I have your email address.
Perfect. What's the best way for me to get it for you? Because ideally I would like to make the changes as soon as possible. Respecting Jacinta, of course.
Let me see if
Oh.
I can just log in really quickly
I was
and,
gonna say, we can just pop it in the, oh, there is no chat.
oh yeah, is there a chat?
There's no chat.
There's no chat.
I don't see one.
No, oh, there's no chat. Okay, I will just connect the two of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Jacinta.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for a thoughtful conversation. Thanks, Karen, for joining us from afar. And we'll see you all next month.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
everybody.
you.
Have a good
Okay,
evening.
bye.
Good luck, Masuda.
Thank you.